A review of Thomas Cook's Strategic Planning by Bryony Leek. What is strategy? There are many definitions referring to strategy and strategic planning. However, the majority refer to aims and objectives as an integral part of the definition. For example, Wickham states that a strategy are the actions an organisation takes to pursue its business objectives. Stacey elaborates on this by stating that strategic planning involves choosing aims and objectives to achieve a chosen future state. However, all authors appear to suggest the key idea of highlighting the question, where do we want to be and how do we get there? So who is Thomas Cook? Thomas Cook has first established his now international travel company in 1841 with a successful one-day rail excursion, charging 1 shilling for the journey from Leicester to Loughborough and back. It was after this that Thomas Cook stated, "Thus was struck the keynote of my excursions, and the social idea grew on me." From this he created his affordable travel company, which we know today. Thomas Cook is well known by its blue and yellow logo. However, just recently the group have rebranded to the Sunny Heart logo as part of their marketing strategy, which will be discussed later on. There are many brands within the group, such as Condor, Neckerman, Tour Vital, Air Tours, Jet Tours, and many more aligned, endorsed, and standalone companies. The Thomas Cook Cooperative Travel and Midlands Cooperative merger. In 2010, the three companies ventured into a merger. White described the merger as a voluntary fusion of two or more enterprises. There can be many reasons behind a merger. However, in this case, the motives appear to be strategic. This gives the companies geographical and market advances, a gain in competencies, and an increase in scale and power within the travel industry. The merger appears successful as it brought Thomas Cook a £918.8 million increase in revenue from 2010 to 2011. Thomas Cook's current strategy. The current strategy revolves around four main pillars: hotel concepts, product and service innovation, single customer gateway, and execution supported by brand and technology. These four pillars suggest that Thomas Cook have developed their plan using the prescriptive approach, as it has been created using objectives to target their strategy, and in their annual report they refer to the long-term monitoring process on numerous occasions. However, Hoffer suggests that a company will benefit from flexibility as it helps improve productivity, which should lead directly to improvements. This therefore suggests that a company would benefit from the learning and adjusting aspect of the emergent theory. Thomas Cook have incorporated this aspect by highlighting the key changes and planning their responses to these changes. Once the objectives and position have been established, a strategic plan can be created. There are many suggested methods for creating a strategic plan. However, Moutinho suggests one which highlights the key aspects used by many authors. He suggests that a plan should be created by defining the mission, conducting a SWOT analysis, formulating specific goals, defining the strategic options, and conducting a portfolio analysis, whilst repeating these stages throughout. This theory applies to Thomas Cook as they have defined missions and formulating goals. However, they do not conduct a SWOT analysis, which may be key to their success in their strategy. The aims of the four pillars can also be applied to Anzoff's market options matrix. The four options of the matrix are market penetration, product development, market development, and diversification. Market penetration is the organisation focusing deeper into the current markets. Thomas Cook target this with their single customer gateway, which will, as Thomas Cook states, enable a consistent, personalised Thomas Cook experience with access to a full range of products and services. This suggests no expansion, but a more concentrated focus on the current markets and products. Market development is targeted through execution supported by brand and technology. This is using existing products to target new markets, which Thomas Cook will do by using current resources and developing new access for new customers. Product development is appealing to a current market with a new product. This is done through the hotel concept pillar, which is a new product which they aim to market to their current customers. Finally, Thomas Cook have expanded into diversification, which is moving into new markets with new products. This approach has proved successful for Thomas Cook throughout the development of the company, from a one-day rail service to package holidays. This theory is being applied again using product and service innovation. The new product is a dynamic holiday package, which itself appeals to new markets. It could be argued that the market options matrix is a tool to help in the decision-making, and therefore only one or two aspects of the approach should be developed in a strategic plan. The rebrand of Thomas Cook. Rogers suggests that in March 2013, Thomas Cook was struggling to create a marketing strategy which would improve profits. However, they were creating a fight back campaign to re-establish their UK market leadership. One of the 4 pillars focuses on brand and technology, which suggests that when the strategic plan was created, they were considering a rebrand. They were just not sure in which way. The aim of the rebrand is to highlight to customers the united front of Thomas Cook wherever customers see the logo. It will ensure them of the quality they can expect to receive from the Thomas Cook Group. Risk analysis. In Thomas Cook's annual reports, they have highlighted any threats they suspect will threaten their company throughout the following year. These are: threat of a continued downturn in demand due to adverse global economic factors, failure to implement strategic initiatives results in projected cost savings and growth opportunities not being realized, recruitment, development or retention of talented people, a major health and safety incident impacting our customers or colleagues, political and regulatory, liquidity and counterparty credit, commodity, currency and interest rate. The group acknowledged the fact that risks need to be constantly monitored, thus appealing to the prescriptive approach. They also state that by highlighting the risks, they can ensure more informed decisions, which in turn leads to achieving their strategic objectives. Seen as Thomas Cook have established the threats which they expect, they can then plan in preparation of these threats. Some of the plans are being implemented anyway as part of the strategy, which suggests Thomas Cook are aware of their risk appetite and apply it accordingly. Recommendations. Sarkar suggests that recommendations can be used to formulate strategy for future growth and sustainability. The following are some suggested points for Thomas Cook's future planning. Specific market segment. The current Thomas Cook plan fails to suggest any specific target market. White suggests that this is key to creating a successful strategic plan. It could be argued that as a travel agency, Thomas Cook attracts multiple markets and therefore cannot target them all. However, they may find that many of the marketing methods appeal to more than one market, which would then save on money and resources. Structured analysis method. Throughout the research conducted, Thomas Cook do not highlight any specific analysis method used, internal or external. A structured analysis method such as SWOT or PESTLE would allow the company to review itself and compare its methods to the competition. This could then be implemented into the previously highlighted strategic planning models. Narrow the strategy. When reviewing the market options matrix, it appeared that Thomas Cook targets all the market options. This then creates a huge workload to achieve all of these aspects. It could be suggested that Thomas Cook need to focus their resources on one or two aspects and use a specific market to anchor their focuses. Overall, Thomas Cook's strategy is very comprehensive, covering a huge range of aspects, and is proven very successful in the past. They are up to date and aware of current issues and environments and plan to react to them accordingly. However, the marketing strategy lacks the basic specifics which would make their strategy stronger.